Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Today is a wild one, and honestly, I am still trying to process everything that just went down on our screens. Grab a huge cup of coffee because we have a lot to unpack, and I mean a lot. So let us just dive right into the absolute madness that was Brooke Logan storming into Bill Spencer's office. You guys know the exact look I am talking about. That furious, wide-eyed, pacing around the room energy Brooke gets when her family is falling apart and she is desperately looking for someone to blame. She marched right in there, past whatever security or assistants were in the way, and honestly, I was half expecting her to slap him again like she did Katie a few episodes ago. But no, this was deeper than a physical reaction. This was raw, unfiltered emotional panic. Brooke is completely shattered after that Logan ASAP fashion show, the betrayal, the lies. Seeing Hope standing on that runway as the mystery designer for the rival company, it broke something fundamental in Brooke. And she needs someone to target, so she targets Bill. Because it is so much easier to blame the big bad dollar Bill Spencer than to admit her own daughter played her for a fool. And Brooke just unleashes on him. She accuses Bill of using his massive wealth, his unchecked power, and his endless resources to manipulate Hope into this situation. She basically calls Hope a pawn in Bill's sick, twisted revenge war against the Forresters. She is screaming about how he lured her daughter away, how he used his money to blind Hope to the reality of what she was doing to her family. And let's be real for a second. Is she entirely wrong? No. Bill absolutely timed this Logan launch to humiliate Eric Forrester and step all over his highly anticipated haute couture comeback. He even used that massive blue diamond, courtesy of Wyatt's sneaky delivery, to make it a media spectacle that would completely eclipse anything Forrester Creations had to offer. But Brooke is acting like Hope was brainwashed. Like Hope didn't sign that contract with Katie of her own free will. Hope wanted this. Hope was thrilled to work with Deke Sharp again. But Brooke cannot see that through her tears and her anger. She just keeps yelling about how Bill corrupted her little girl. But the real reason Brooke is spiraling out of control right now, it is Ridge. It always comes back to Ridge, doesn't it? Her relationship with Ridge is severely fractured right now. I mean, severely. The bridge marriage is hanging by a thread. Ridge is furious. Eric is furious. Steffy is practically breathing fire and plotting her revenge. And Ridge is looking at Brooke like she somehow should have stopped this, even though she didn't even know. Brooke was right there in the trenches, defending Eric's legacy and fighting with Katie, completely unaware that her own daughter was the enemy. The fallout from Logan's fashion show has basically put a massive, gaping hole in the middle of their marriage. And we all know the historical pattern here. Brooke and Ridge are happy. A family crisis happens involving their kids. They take opposite sides, the resentment builds, and suddenly they are taking off their rings. Brooke is terrified that this is the end of her marriage all over again. And she is blaming Bill for lighting the match that burned it down. So how does Bill react to this emotional breakdown happening right in front of his desk? With classic, infuriating Bill Spencer smugness, he is completely unapologetic. Not a single ounce of regret or sympathy on his face. He probably wanted to pour himself a scotch right then and there just to emphasize how little he cared about her outrage. Bill just looks at her, leans back in his expensive chair, and claims he is actually doing Hope a massive favor. He tells Brooke point blank that he is freeing Hope's talent from Steffy's suppression. He argues that Steffy was never going to give Hope the respect or the platform she deserved at Forrester Creations. And you know what? That is the part that makes this storyline so incredibly complicated. Because Bill actually has a valid point. Steffy did shelve Hope for the future. Steffy did use her co-CEO power to put Hope in a corner and stall her career. Bill is sitting there, looking like the cat that ate the canary, saying he just gave Hope the freedom and the funding that her own family refused to give her. He is framing himself as the hero of Hope's story, the ultimate savior of her creative genius. And that smugness, it absolutely infuriates Brooke. She is practically vibrating with rage as he talks down to her. But beneath that anger, there is this deep, dark fear creeping in. A fear that she didn't even want to say out loud, but you could see it written all over Catherine Kelly Lang's face in that scene. Brooke is terrified that Bill is replacing her as Hope's mentor. For years, decades even, Brooke has been the one guiding Hope. Brooke was the one fighting Steffy in the boardroom for her, pushing Ridge to give Hope what she wants, acting as the ultimate stage mom and protector for the Hope for the Future brand. Brooke's entire identity is wrapped up in being Hope's greatest champion. But now, Hope did not go to her mom for help when she was struggling. Hope went to Katie. Hope went to Bill. Hope went to Deke Sharp. She bypassed Brooke entirely and kept her completely in the dark. This realization is creating this huge, unbridgeable gap between mother and daughter, and Brooke feels it widening every single second. Brooke is realizing that she is no longer the most important voice in Hope's professional life. Or maybe even her personal life. Hope lied to her face for weeks. While Brooke was in the Forrester offices screaming at Steffy to bring Hope's line back and demanding Ridge make her co-CEO to save it, Hope was secretly sketching for the enemy. The psychological damage that level of deception does to a mother-daughter bond is absolutely huge. Brooke feels completely obsolete. And seeing Bill sit there, acting like he is Hope's new savior, her new confidant, her new mentor, it is a bitter, bitter pill to swallow. It is like Brooke is mourning the loss of her little girl all over again, watching her get pulled into the Spencer orbit where Brooke has no control. But then, oh man, then the scene takes a turn that I honestly should have seen coming, but it still made me gasp out loud at my screen. Bill, in all his audacious, boundary-pushing, chaotic glory, drops a massive bomb. He looks at this crying, stressed-out, heartbroken woman standing in his office and suggests that she should just leave Ridge. Just pack her bags, walk away from the Forrester drama, and join their new empire. Join Logan, join him and Katie and Hope. I mean, the sheer nerve of this man. What was he thinking? Or maybe he knows exactly what he is thinking. Bill has always had a soft spot for Brooke. We all remember the Brill days, the Forbiddance romance, the secret meetings, and Bill loves chaos. He loves taking things that belong to Ridge Forrester. It is like a sport to him at this point. Just think about the implications of this offer. Bill is basically looking at the wreckage of Brooke's life and saying, hey, your husband hates your daughter right now. Your family is a complete mess. You are fighting a losing battle over there. So just abandon ship and come rule the fashion world with us. It is so incredibly manipulative. He knows exactly which buttons to push, but also kind of tempting. Okay, maybe I am being way too harsh on Brooke if I actually think she would consider it. She loves Ridge. Ridge is her destiny, as she reminds us every 5 minutes. But Ridge is currently standing shoulder to shoulder with Steffy and Eric, looking at the Logans like they are the ultimate enemy. Brooke is on an island right now. She fiercely defended Forrester against Katie's ambush. She alienated her own sister, and she got absolutely nothing for it. Hope betrayed her. Ridge is mad at her. Steffy is probably plotting to banish her from the building. Bill is offering her a lifeline. A very toxic, strings-attached, Spencer-branded lifeline, but a lifeline nonetheless. Let us zoom out for a second and look at the bigger pattern here, because the writers are doing something really interesting. This show loves to recycle the Brooke, Ridge, and Bill triangle. We have seen it a million times, but this feels different. This is not just about romance or who Brooke wants to kiss. This is about legacy. This is about corporate warfare. Bill is not just offering Brooke a bed, he is offering her a boardroom. He is offering her a chance to be on the winning team because right now, let's face it, Logan is winning. The entire fashion world is buzzing about Logan's surprise show, not Eric's haute couture. Bill is building an empire that is specifically designed to crush the Forresters, and he wants Brooke to be a part of it. It is twisted. It really is. He is using her pain and her isolation to try and recruit her to the dark side. And what about Katie in all this? Can we just talk about Katie for a minute? Katie is the one who actually hired Hope. Katie is the one who took the massive risk, who kept the secret, who orchestrated the designs with Deke. But here is Bill, acting like he is the grand architect of this whole thing, and secretly trying to poach Brooke into the mix. How is Katie going to feel if Brooke suddenly jumps ship and joins Logan? Katie and Brooke just had a massive, explosive fight before the fashion show. Brooke said some horrible things to Katie, completely trashing her fashion house. If Brooke suddenly turns around and says, "Okay, my marriage is over, I am joining Logan," Katie is going to lose her mind. The sister dynamic is already hanging by a very thin thread. Donna has been trying to play peacemaker and failing miserably. This would completely snap that thread. Bill is playing with fire, and he doesn't even care who gets burned as long as he wins. I keep thinking about how Ridge is going to react when he inevitably finds out about this conversation. Because in soap land, secrets like this never, ever stay hidden. Someone is going to overhear, or Brooke is going to confess it in a moment of weakness, or Bill is going to throw it in Ridge's face just to watch him explode. Ridge is already seeing red over the fashion show ambush. He views Hope's defection as an unforgivable attack on his family's legacy. If he finds out that Bill Spencer is not only funding the rival company that stole Hope, but is also actively trying to convince Brooke to leave her marriage and join the enemy, Ridge might actually burn the Spencer Publications building to the ground. We are talking about a level of Forrester rage that we haven't seen in a long, long time. Ridge will see it as the ultimate betrayal, not just from Bill, but from Brooke if she even entertains the idea for a split second. Honestly, I find myself second-guessing my own reactions here as I type this. Am I being too hard on Bill? Like, yes, he is arrogant, and he is definitely using this to hurt Ridge, which is petty and vindictive. But his core argument about Steffy suppressing Hope is valid. Steffy was being incredibly petty with the Hope for the future line. Steffy basically forced Hope's hand. Hope had to go somewhere to keep her vision alive because Steffy was determined to kill it. So in a weird, twisted, very Spencer way, Bill is kind of the good guy for Hope's career right now. Okay, that sounded dramatic, and I know the Forrester fans are going to yell at me in the comments, but you get what I mean. He gave her the funding and the freedom that Steffy refused to give her. But Bill's motives are never pure. Never. He always wants a return on his investment, and right now, it looks like he wants Brooke to be part of that return. He wants to dismantle the Forrester family piece by piece, starting with their top designer and ending with their matriarch. And let's not forget all the collateral damage happening around this main event. Will Spencer is currently dealing with the absolute destruction of his relationship with Elektra Forrester because he knew about this Logan's secret and kept his mouth shut to protect his dad's plan. Elektra is heartbroken and furious. Zende is having a complete meltdown over his shelved designs. RJ and Melissa Dillon are sneaking around. And then there is the massive, looming threat of Sheila Carter. Taylor is dealing with Sheila's insane blackmail about getting access to Hayes in exchange for signing Deacon's divorce papers. Taylor is terrified to tell Steffy because Steffy is currently in a state of volcanic rage over Hope's betrayal. So the Forresters are being hit from all sides. They have Logan attacking them in the press and stealing their spotlight. They have Hope betraying the family. Ridge and Brooke's marriage is cracking, and soon they are going to have Sheila Carter knocking on the door demanding to see her grandson. The writers are really piling it on right now, and the tension is just unbearable. So, where does this leave Brooke at the end of the day? She is standing in Bill's office, listening to him offer her a brand new life away from Ridge, away from the Forrester drama, away from Steffy's constant hostility. Will she take it? Probably not right away. She is going to fight for Ridge. She always fights for Ridge. It is practically her full-time job at this point. But the seed has been planted. The doubt is there. Every time Ridge yells at her about hope, every time Steffy insults her daughter, every time Eric looks at her with disappointment, Brooke is going to remember Bill's offer. She is going to remember that there is a place where her daughter is celebrated, not suppressed, where her family is actually building something together, even if it is built on revenge. And that is going to be a very, very dangerous thought for the Bridge marriage. I am honestly so exhausted just talking about this. My fingers are cramping from typing so fast, but I cannot look away. The drama is just too good right now. The fans on social media are completely divided. Half of you guys are cheering for Hope and Bill, saying it is about time someone puts Steffy in her place, and the other half are furious on behalf of Eric and Ridge, calling Hope a traitor. It is a total mess, a beautiful, chaotic, stressful mess. We will have to see how Brooke handles this massive dilemma in the next few episodes. Will she tell Ridge about Bill's offer? Will she confront Hope about letting Bill become her new mentor? Will she actually pack her bags and head over to Logan? I guess we just have to keep watching and waiting for the next explosion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you Team Logan or Team Forrester right now? Who is actually in the right here? Let's argue about it.